Greetings, sailors, and welcome to the almost release of UBOAT, which I've not looked at in quite a while, I think, actually. It's been in a somewhat protracted early access state, although not as protracted as some other games, to be fair. And they are on the verge of a full release, and what they are doing as part of that is essentially allowing people to access well, they call it the unstable branch. If you go into the thing on Steam, you can actually select it from the betas menu. And as you can see, we're on full release preview 7. So this is what the game is going to more or less look like, but they're still doing final polishes on things. Probably the headline is that there are now a lot more different boats to choose from. It's not just the Type 7C. You've got 2 versions of the Type 2 and I think 4 versions of the Type 7. And that basically, as far as I understand it, just leaves the Type 9 as the only major type that's not actually represented. There were the Electro Boots as well, but did any of those actually get into service? I don't know. They were building a bunch towards the end of the war, and then I think only 3 or 4 of them actually went out on patrols. So, you know, that would be kind of fun to see, I suppose. Maybe if they did that as a DLC at some point. But yeah, in terms of the Atlantic boats that actually did see service, and the Mediterranean boats as well, of course, yeah, they're pretty much all covered, because they did do a bunch of types, but a lot of them were kind of experimental types or one-off types, or they were testing different means of propulsion. They had a handful of their resupply submarines, which I think were basically modified Type 7s. So yeah, it's like I said, the Type 9, the long-range cruiser ones are the only ones that are not really represented in the game. But heck, maybe even some enterprising modder out there will add them in at some point. I'm not sure if they actually do plan to add the Type 9 themselves. So you can start off with the Type, what is that, a Type 2A? I think this is a Type 2... no, this is a Type 7B. There is an upgraded Type 2. There we go, the Type 2D. So it is basically Type 2A, but with greater range. I think it's still got the same limited number of tubes, though. What do I want to start with? We could go with the Type 7B, or we could go with the dinky little Type 2A, which is it's basically a coastal boat, and they've got like 3 tubes and 2 reloads. They don't have a lot of endurance. You might do that just to do it as a different thing that I've shown before, I suppose. We'll go with intermediate on most things. We'll have realistic builds. It's sort of, I'm going for roughly halfway. Some of the other stuff they've added, including incorporating what were more or less modded things before, things like the TDC, which before you had to use a mod to get that. So you can go for now a much more realistic experience. Yes, we'll get rid of the tutorial. And have it be a little bit more close to something like the Silent Hunter series. Whereas previously it was much more... Like, you can have it be much more emphasised on the kind of crew management side rather than the full-on sub-sim. But if you want to do first-person full-on sub-sim, I think that's going to be a lot more possible. We'll just go with the defaults. So I've got a bit of an intro, but it's not... I'll be honest, it's not a terribly interesting intro. So we'll skip past that and go straight into our dinky little U-boat. So here we go. Beginning of September 39. And here is our really dinky little machine. It is seriously cramped. I honestly, I knew they had coastal boats, but man, 3 compartments, no watertight doors. The galley is practically in the command station. Yeah, it's so dinky. It is absolutely dinky, and it's only got in game. It's only got a crew of 14, which is probably not too far off what they had in real life. But I know they specifically have fewer crew members than they really do, just because the crew are actual, like, you know, physical objects in the world, and too many crew members meant they were bumping into each other and causing all kinds of pathfinding issues. Anyway, let's make sure that we've got food, fuel, everything. This is also apparently how we upgrade our command, presumably once we've got enough points. Yeah, so this will be command points. So yeah, at the moment, type 2A, and it's tiny, it's slow, it doesn't go very far, it only has a couple of torpedoes, so it's sort of limited in capability. You could challenge yourself to go through a whole war run in one of these things, but frankly I think that would get pretty frustrating pretty quickly. There's also very limited upgrades. I think you can upgrade your hydrophone, and that might be about it. You can now, this is one of the other changes, you can actually use the upgrade system to change your emblem as well. I'm not sure how you unlock new emblems though, presumably by completing certain things. And you can also have camouflage, and previously this was a thing that you needed mods for, but yeah. So we have let's have that light blue camo, so that is going to not cost us anything, which is quite nice. I don't think that does anything other than be cosmetic, but yeah, it's nice that it's there. Right, so let's actually resupply. See how we are doing. Lubricant, interesting, that's definitely new. So we might need some lubricant as a thing. Shall we buy, say, 2? We don't need... I don't know. I have no idea if we'll need lots, if we won't lots. Food, we'll definitely need some more. So let's have some sausages and some veg. We don't need to go too nuts. We've only got a limited amount of requisition to begin with. And okay, so we have stuff being moved from... We had 2 in storage, and one of them looks like it's being in the process of being moved. I don't think we can do that manually. One of the things they have changed is that you don't have to... previously, it could be a bit of a faff with like you couldn't load stuff directly into the tubes. You had to load stuff into the storage, then take the time, like wait for them to physically move the torpedoes from storage into the tubes, and then go back and put more things in storage, and it would all take extra time. But now you can actually put stuff directly into yeah, so we're going with the electric ones that are free basically. We've got steam and electric. They're still the same upgrade system as before. Can we... No, we're gonna have to wait for that movement to finish anyway, apparently. So yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that. We could demo charges maybe. Given that this is the start of the war, cruiser rules are still kind of in effect, essentially. So, yeah, there should be a thing... Oh, do we have to take an assignment before give me the button to speed ahead? Right, I guess we do. So let's have a look-see. Obviously don't have any reputation to make purchases with those so far, so we'll just... take let's take a coastal assignment. These are all, I think, the same difficulty. It's also first patrol, so yeah, let's go for that. reach patrol area. Okay, are we loaded on with the torpedoes? Did it just do that instantly? I would have thought there'd be a button. There should be a button. So it has loaded those instantly, but it's taking... Okay, it's taking time for them to actually load this tube. We can actually first person look at this guy who is loading a non-existent torpedo at the moment because all the bunks are down. I don't know if this is a little glitch. It might well be a little glitch because, like I said, this is not actually the full release. This is entirely the released candidates that they're putting out. So that seems to have interrupted that job, so we can actually now put that tube in. I'll put that torpedo in. Okay, exit. Right, maybe because it's the first patrol it's just instantly loading stuff, or maybe there was something in the settings that I missed. I don't know. So the UI really hasn't changed very much. The only new thing I have particularly noticed is there is now an alarm condition here on the telegraph. It used to previously be linked to the lighting system. They've decoupled that, so the lighting is now like a separate system. So you can be on action stations but have blue lighting or red lighting as the conditions dictate. Right, so we've only got a limited number of crew overall, so let's put them. Yeah, we can have up to 6 sails on assignment. Okay, maybe it was just fewer for the thing, the tutorial. I did have a go at doing the tutorial first, and it kind of, like, the first part of the tutorial was fine, but then it kind of broke because it wanted me to find and sink 2 merchant ships, and I found one of the merchant ships and then spent about 20 real-world minutes sailing around trying to find a second merchant ship that it wanted me to locate, but couldn't, so I gave up on that. Right, anyway, so have we stopped the alarm? Have we? Oh, okay, there we are. We haven't. Everyone was on the alarm state for no valid reason, which obviously is very good for crew health. Yes, definitely want them to be just super stressed all the time. One odd behaviour I have noticed when you're fast forwarding and looking at the surface view is it does this weird bobbing up and down. I guess it's trying to emulate the fact, if you're on the slower ones, that, I mean, yes, it's bobbing up and down in the water a bit, but it doesn't seem to quite know how to do that at the fastest speed, so you get this weird, very weird effect going on. Anyway, we're now far enough away from the coast that we can go even faster. One of the things they have changed as well is that it used to be once you got near the coast it would have to stop and load in the coastline, but it's now kind of all in the same world space, as it were, so it will still drop the maximum allowable time compression speed, but it doesn't have to do that loading anymore, which is quite welcome. Okay, we just got a message. Hostile actions on the part of Polish Isles, England and France are not to be expected. Hostile actions against them are prohibited until further notice. So this is basically just us patrolling and not actually being able to sink anything just yet. Right, so here we are. We need to set you're currently resting, but we can actually get him who's got some energy. You can go to the radio room and make that transmission. And tell them where we are. So that's our course laid out. I've also assigned a crew member. In fact, we put 2 crew members assisting with navigation, which further reduces fuel usage. And this point in the war doesn't really matter that much, but of course later in the war, fuel usage becomes a bit of a thing that you have to watch out for, because yeah, you suddenly maybe don't have quite as much as Germany for some reason, almost as if the war's not going that well. But obviously, you know, that isn't a thing that could happen, obviously. Okay, so here we go. 3rd September. So we can now attack British ships in terms of the prize rules. So basically, we can just choose to go full on attack and sink, or we can do like actual boarding and inspection of ships. That's something a game flags that you can do later on anyway, just if somebody's flying under a false flag. Okay, hostilities with France. French warships and freighters, defensive actions are permitted, but we're not allowed to board or attack French flagged vessels. Okay, so British ships, yes. French ships, defensive only. Please head to square AM15, AM46. Okay, so we've been instructed to head to a different patrol area. Presumably it's still the same 2,000 kilometers. Okay, and the amount of distance we've traveled already does count, so let's head up there. Now what we can do, and this is a button, a feature that's been implemented for a little while, is we can make a hydrophone check. You used to have to do all the steps manually, and they basically condensed it into a single button so that you will dive and do a listen on the hydrophone at a set depth at a dead stop. So basically the best possible listening conditions. We can even assign a crewman. Oh, we can't at the moment. We can assign a crewman to increase the efficacy of that. So let's speed that up a little bit. So we sink below the waves. Say hello to all the little fishies. So that's our current hydrophone range. We're not picking up anything, it doesn't look like. Okay, so we're now back underway. I wonder if it'll go back up to, yeah, okay, our previous speed. They also automatically go and turn on the the processor. Right, so hang on. Possible target. Active radio transmission. So this is different now. You get a cone of contact essentially. So I click the interception not possible. If we, is it traveling away from us? 50+ kilometers. Speed closing in. Not sure why it's saying interception not possible then. Bear in mind, it's been a little while since I picked this up. Oh, we've lost contact, I guess. What clouds? 276. Okay. Which is, I don't know if it's going to plot that for me automatically wherever AN276 is. That's a ways away from us. It's very, to zoom right in to see the map references. 276 will be up. Will that be north? Or is that closer over to the... Aha, there we go, 271. So that's way outside our patrol area. That's much closer to the coast of Norway, so that's fine. Okay, well, we've lost whatever contact that was. Let's slow back down again. Just do a bit of a zigzag. And in a little bit we will dip down under the surface once more. We're probably not going to spot anything on the surface at the moment anyway. Although now we're into daytime, so we might. Okay, so we have color directed. We can plot an intercept course, but at the present speed we're not going to get there in very fast. But once we surface again, once we've finished this hydrophone check, we can of course go much faster. Well, I say much faster. The maximum speed of this is like 13 knots. It's not a fast boat. See if we pick anything up. We'll do another check soon. Of course, our main thing is that we're supposed to be patrolling this area. But, you know, we might find something to sink. Possible target in our vicinity. Okay. Single steamer naval square, AM 763. Which it'd be nice if there was an option for it to mark these things on the map for you rather than having to, like, where would 763 be? That's going to be, I don't even know. It's not much further to our south. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, okay. I didn't even know you could do that. You can drag the elements around the screen. Okay, that's a thing I didn't know. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I have no idea where that is. It would be nice if you could get an indication from the game, even if it was just like this grid square rather than a specific point on the map. Okay, so we have... okay, yeah, no, we'll just haul our submarine up onto land in Norway. We'll do the intercept there. Right, so... Let's see if we can't... Again, it's saying interception not possible. It's moving away, I don't know. 80 plus kilometers. 95 degrees. Right, that one's closer. And possibly just slightly... We're still travelling at 35 meters. We want to surface. Also, having told them to surface manually, I might need to manually assign someone to start the compressor. There's only an electric compressor in this. Oh, yeah, okay, so let's do it. Right, that's fine. I didn't notice the little porch right next to it. It's me doing an old person and clicking on the thing repeatedly. Oh, right. Funnel smoke spotted. We can then... Right, so what we can do is go to periscope depth We don't know who or what this is yet, but we're pretty close. Some kind of freighter. You can set it so that you have to do all the identification and all the plotting and all that kind of thing, essentially manually. And we'll get ourselves on a kind of a parallel course while we try and intercept that, so that all of the stuff that's kind of happening automatically on the easier difficulties, it's not really possible. Right, I figured out why that said 6 before. When you're on the alarm status, you actually get more crew available. So he goes on standby for damage control. That's a new thing. You're now operating the torpedo calculator, and you're operating the radio. What we could do is have you manning the hydrophone, which would re-establish the contact. Hopefully. So we know it's there. We're not quite close enough to get a sight with the periscope. So there it is. We, the player, can see it. Wow, we really move out of crawling this thing. We might actually need to just go directly towards it rather than try and get on a parallel course, because I don't think we're quite quick enough. This thing is very slow. So how are we doing for power, air? We're absolutely fine. We might need to surface. I think it's literally too fast for us. We're, like, if it's going over 7 knots. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to have to surface. Because I don't think we can actually catch up to it while we're at periscope depth. It's what I would have done previously, but... yeah. Where is this thing? Okay, so we can basically tell him to start getting a solution on it, and also this is like identifying it at the same time, and can have some idea of how fast it's going as well. Yeah, we just weren't going quick enough. So much. This thing is not fast. It's a tiddly little submarine. It does not go fast. Right, so speed up a bit. Our crew is all fairly green, so this might take a moment. We don't have any of the can't remember where you see it now, is it that? No, that's just I don't even know what that button does. Anyway, I can't remember where you see it, but the thing that lets you see the crew skills. They don't have any crew skills or perks or anything like that at the moment, so yeah. Let's actually take a little look. Right, so this is Red Ensign flagged vessel, so it is British. So I think this is a valid target as far as my understanding goes. It's also not armed. So what we could try and do is pull alongside and basically order them to surrender. Or we could just go straight on with a torpedo attack once we have a good enough solution. We are slowly closing the difference. I don't think they've spotted us yet. The game will tell you But at the harder modes, you can set it so that you don't know. You have the element of mystery as to whether you are spotted. So, yeah, it's British, about 4,500 tons. A lone merchantman travelling at 6 knots, which is about as fast as we were going underwater, so at best we were keeping pace with it, essentially. This is not an ideal angle for firing, however. We will need to actually swing out a bit. So on the semi-realistic difficulty, the angle at which your torpedoes hit does matter. So really you want perpendicular hits, as opposed to some kind of glancing hit. And of course, just trying to hit something in the bow or the stern is just generally a much more difficult thing to do anyway. So let's speed up a bit. We're still not spotted. I guess this is just being a smaller sub, harder to spot generally. That would make sense that the Type 7 would be a little easier. Now, I presume if I was doing this manually with the TDC, if I knew how to do that, one could do it a lot quicker than waiting for the crew to do it. But the crew will get better at it over time. So we're now travelling roughly parallel at about the same speed. And we're approaching 90% accuracy. So we should start to think about launching a torpedo. It's also saying we might want to get a bit closer. Okay, so we'll try that. We're roughly 5 kilometers away at the moment. So we get to about 2 kilometers. We're still just completely surface running at this point. Still haven't spotted us.
Torpedo Rohr 2 gewartet.
Once we get a little bit closer.
Torpedo Rohr 3 gewartet.
Maybe even speed up a little bit. Okay, so they're starting to spot us now. Does that mean we fire the torpedo? Let's give it a go. So let's flood tube 1. And we can actually change the depth. Should we say 2 meters? Let's fire a torpedo. So that's now how spotting works, unless you've got that turned off. So they are aware and alarmed of our presence. Not very happy about it, understandably. We do have we're pretty close, and we think we've got a reasonable chance of landing a hit here. I've only fired one because of course we only have a limited stock of torpedoes. But really this is also kind of, I just wanted to see some action rather than just patrol and not really have anything else happen. Can speed things up a little bit. It does mean reputation points, but also, you know, it lets me see what else might have changed about the game. So I don't know if that's them having... Oh, that's because they're manoeuvring now, I suppose. That does not look like it's going to hit. Okay, so we're gonna have to try another torpedo.
Bewässern. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Let's get the speed up a little.
Tor 2 bewässert.
Um,
40 Sekunden bis Torpedo-Einschlag.
are you continuing to turn?
30 Sekunden.
Not entirely clear.
Kurs setzen.
Closer is better. It means
20 Sekunden. Fehlschuss.
less travel time. Okay, so they temporarily lost view of me, but they are now. I wonder if it's
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
preferable to submerge. Get on the hydrophone.
Keine Panik. Konzentriert euch auf
Right, you
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
get on the hydrophone.
Raum besetzen.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind auf
And
für Rundblick
that's fine, you're loading a torpedo.
Kurs setzen.
Right, our ability to overtake is now obviously... oh, we're still looking at the torpedo going off into the distance. So they were aware we're here, but they've now lost direct visual contact.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung.
Ship propeller bearing. That's that contact, yes. Should be. Right, so should we try that again? Let's try another torpedo. This might be an absolutely terrible time to attack. I don't really know well enough. I don't know my submarine tactics well enough to know, but let's give it a go. Right, he's wiggling a little bit. If it does hit, it's going to be a really awkward angle, so the impact pistol
Der Torpedo ist auf
may not trigger. So let's have a look, see. This is going to hit. Should know any second. Oh, boom! There we go. Absolutely. Serious damage. Okay. So it's on fire. Obviously they're alarmed. Generally not happy. That might have... Okay, I don't think that will have knocked out their engine. It was far too far forwards for that. But I think this means that, like, the health bar is draining because they're on fire, but they may also be flooding. Oh yeah, they are definitely flooding. That is not a happy ship. I almost said not a happy submarine. No, that's definitely a ship. There we go. So the solid green is gone, and now it's that means it's done for. So we can look at the surface once more. We may be able to salvage something from the wreck. You can also go back on, and we can transmit that we have managed to score our first kill.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Funktelegramm
And so
gesendet.
we'll actually get a reasonably nice little chunk
Setzen.
from that chunk of experience. Right, so interactions. Still too far away.
Setzen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Tor 2.
Close the distance.
Gleich
Slow
voraus.
right down. I think it is
Alle Maschinen.
literally just
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
some lifeboats. I don't think there's any cargo. Okay. Wreckage, click to interact. Yeah, so... oh, okay. No, there are some things. So we can land Let's say land a med kit. Now this all takes time. This is a little sit and twiddle your thumbs. And you can only have one crate on board at a time, regardless of how big the submarine is. So I guess the idea is that you have to pick and choose quite carefully. So we'll grab those two. We can only grab one at a time. So it's stuff you don't have to spend money on, essentially. So somebody actually then has to physically come up and move the stuff into storage. Which, again, a little tedious, but you can at least speed that up a bit. You'd think for a single med kit you'd only need one guy to do it, but apparently not. Don't know if you're just standing there like a wally, because... Right, okay. Oh, we can grab the other med kit. So that... I did hope that I could put the whole thing in there, but no, we're having to do them one by one. Right, so that's now... No, that's still... Is it because he's gone to do a torpedo? Do we need to assign somebody else to do that? I don't know that I can. Doesn't appear to be an option for that. So we literally just have to wait. Can you not do what you're doing? If I go to direct control of him. There we go. That seems to be the easiest way to stop them doing a thing you don't want to do. Okay, so wreckage, replacement parts, med kits. Let's grab the vegetables and then maybe the replacement parts. We can speed this up as well, fortunately. So we have 3 vegetables. That hardly seems worth it, but okay. 3 soggy carrots is all that's left. It would be real nice if you could have some idea beforehand, but apparently not. And is that going to be okay? So still only yes. Rather than 2 trips, let's only make it 1 trip because that makes more sense. Right, what have we got left storage space wise? Oh, see, it's automatically split the... Okay. That's fine. We could grab... The thing is, we're grabbing medkits as well. You can, like, sell them back, essentially, to the requisition officer. Ooh, 3 in that one. Okay. We'll have that. And then I think we'll depart. Because there may well be some sneaky Royal Navy ships heading our way. Right, so let's head off once more. We'll put some sailors back with you. And speed things up once again. Ooh, incoming transmission. Do we actually have to get... Oh, it's because our radio guy is... Okay, you can go and... There we go, there's transmissions, radio room. Yes? Or is that something he's not allowed to do? That might be something he's not allowed to do. Okay. The UI is being a little bit wonk right now. Can't select him because he's just like asleep, not even resting. Can you go and listen for transmissions? Yes, you can. Okay. We also need to get the electric compressor going. Right, so receive.
Eines unserer U-Boote hat soeben ein mögliches Ziel innerhalb unserer Reichweite gemeldet.
Okay, that is a
Ja?
message about. Okay. Just a sighting, that's fine.
Torpedorohr 3
Oh,
gebaut.
rather than. We've already sunk one freighter, expended 2 torpedoes, so we're just going to
Melde mich zum Dienst.
go with. Oh, we have a situation arising. Okay. Okay, because I've been running at the higher level for a while. Oh, and it really does visually. Okay, that's kind of cool. So that's another one of the new things. So how do we? Take lubricant. Do we have to do this manually? Let's try grabbing him then. Go to storage locker. Grab a lubricant. Okay, and
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
how it doesn't actually. I've not investigated how one might use the lubricant on the engines.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloin.
He's got the lubricant in his. I don't know if this will do it automatically or not. Let's see if there's something in the interaction menu. I'm not actually sure. He's got the lubricant in his inventory. It's not entirely clear what I'm supposed to do with it now. There's some specific spot where you know, pour the lubricant in.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloin.
Not sure about that one. The game doesn't really explain it. But there is a penalty, so there we go. You can't just run along at high speed on your diesels anymore. You have to actually moderate their usage a little bit.
Eines unserer U-Boote hat soeben ein mögliches Ziel innerhalb unserer Reichweite gemeldet.
Okay, we've got another contact report. That's fine.
Jawohl. Weiter
Could go for another sub. Another.
Von einem nahegelegenen U-Boot über ein mögliches Ziel in diesem Gebiet informiert.
Okay, it doesn't always give you messages in the same way, which is slightly confusing.
Wir haben neue Befehle vom
New orders from headquarters. U-99 has gone missing. Please investigate before 12th September. Okay. Find the lost boat. Now it should give me a marker for this. Oh, here we go. So it's within this square
Kurs
here.
setzen.
So let's turn around. Head for that. See if we can See if we can locate our missing brethren. Right, dive check didn't give me anything, but doing a zigzag search pattern on the surface has pointed me in the right direction. Now this sort of interaction has been in the game for a while, but it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, because there's several different outcomes. Let's pull up alongside and see what we can see. So there we go, that looks like a Type 7 to me. Interesting, send a team to investigate. So we may need to scuttle it. But I don't know if we actually have any scuttling charges. So let's send... we can send up to 3 people. Actually, let's just send 2 and then maybe 2 crew. Let's see what comes of that. Okay. Can't hear any sounds. I have a suspicion as to what this might be. So they're busy investigating. Performance slow. I'm not sure what influences that. Maybe there's particular crew skills. It's rather nice for us that even though it's without power, it's somehow maintaining position magically. Okay, yes, so this was what I thought had happened. So, we can't scuttle it because we don't have explosives. I could have bought the explosives, actually. So what we'll have to do is torpedo it. Now, we don't seem to be able to report that. But what we can do is... if we go to the map screen, can we... set... No, I want to... Can we have someone calculate a solution for that? I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to want to let me calculate a solution. We can just like eyeball it essentially. I'm not entirely sure if the game wants me to sink it or not, because it does give the option if you have the crew skills or the explosives. Although presumably that would involve going back inside the boat, which seems like it would be a bit dangerous. Or we can sink it with a deck gun, maybe? Let's come to a halt. I really am just trying things out at the moment. So let's, he can apparently go with the deck gun, so let's actually... See what I mean? The galley is basically in the command center. It's a bit ridiculous. This is definitely a unique thing that, like, I don't think any other sub-game has let you do, is, like, be a person inside the submarine and walk around and do all of the things. Yeah. Like, there's other channels I watch that do series with, like, Silent Hunter and whatever, and it's a lot more reliant on just, like, different screens. So you might have some I think this is really meant as an AA gun. I don't think it's going to do anything to this sub, but... Does that mean it's sinking? Mission completed? Okay, yes. Apparently that's what we had to do to complete the mission. Alright then. I don't know if we can report that or if that's just going to happen automatically, but back to the patrol. We're almost done with the patrol anyway. I didn't think the machine gun was, well, not machine gun, it's like a 30mm cannon, but still. I didn't think it was going to do that much. But I'm glad it did, because that was much less expensive than using a torpedo. Oh, we've got a smoke. Oh! Oh, jeez, we're right on top of that. The heck? Wow, okay, we absolutely just ran face first into whatever that is. Slow right down, transport spotted. Gonna need someone on the hydrophone as well. Jeez! I mean, we really just, like, practically tripped over that. Hello, Sam. The ship's cat has come to investigate. You come to help, have you, Samuel? I am pleased to report that I've not really mentioned him much, but Percy, the foster cat, also has quite the set of lungs on him. He's in the bathroom most of the time, so you guys don't get to hear it. Unfortunately, he has not quite mastered the use of the consistent use of litter trays, which is a bit of an issue. So he is mostly confined to one room, where it is at least easy to clean up after him. I never had this issue with Sam. But hey, poor Percy has clearly been through a lot. It's taking him a while to get to a state where he's trusting of a human again. But he will at least now let me pet him, which has definitely been some progress. Right, so Samuel, you make an absolutely excellent... I can't actually see. Can we have them both? No, that's only him that can plot the... I don't know if they might have changed that. But it used to be you could have them both calculate the course and it would happen a lot quicker, but maybe they've specifically made that no longer possible. Right, so Sam, I am going to have to pick you up. Yes, come here. Come here. Yes. You being a butthead? Yes, you are, though. Ow! Ow, Samuel! Ow! Stabbed me right in the chest. I mean, he would probably say that was completely deserved. I'm trying to make a video here, Samuel. We want to keep the number of stabbings to a minimum, please. Yeah, let's fast forward once again. This is taking a moment. So again, 7 knots. Right, this is... can we do it at this angle? I don't know. If it was completely realistic, then probably not. But let's give it a go. Okay, we can... That will decrease the range. Let's set it for 2.5 meters. I'm not actually sure what the maximum range of these is. I don't know if that's information the game readily gives to you. Anyway. Fire 1. Oh, we could even... Yeah, we're on impact pistol, but we could even change it to the... I don't know if we'd have a better chance with the magnetic pistol at this angle. I guess we'll see. If it turns out to be a dud... we can maybe try it with the magnetic pistol. This looks good.
20 Sekunden.
Looks like it's going to be bang amidships. It's not a great angle though, but it might not be too bad. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was definitely a hit. This is actually a heavier freighter than the other one was like what, 4.5. This is nearly 6,300. Don't know if that means it will require perhaps another torpedo. It's definitely taking on water though. That is not a happy looking ship. Ah, there we go. She's lost all buoyancy. I was wondering if I was going to have to fire another torpedo, but no, that is now going down for sure. It just might take a while. Another torpedo would speed things up, but you know, we'd also have to replenish said torpedo. Should we try the cannon again? In theory, it doesn't seem like it should work, but it might.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten
I don't
setzen.
know.
Tanks anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
So let's surface. Let's get somebody on the deck gun.
Dieselmotoren wechseln. Kurs setzen.
We could even send some crew over, but sending crew onto a sinking ship seems like it might not be the best idea in the world. Because I don't know how rapidly it's going down or not. I think let's just hasten its end. Let's just get you on the deck gun. And he should fire at it automatically. He might get a bit wet while he's doing so though. Right, so you are not going to do it automatically. We also maybe need to get a bit closer. It really doesn't seem like it should work, but it worked on the submarine. Okay, we started a fire. We certainly have plenty of ammunition. It does feel really weird firing this thing. Try aiming at the bow area. Like it's trying to simulate some kind of recoil, but it just feels quite odd. I think I fired most of those into the air, which was obviously completely useful. Right, let's avoid actually ramming it. Oh yeah, that's almost done. Okay. I think the fire is finishing it off.
Höhenbruch. Sie sinken. Alarm beenden.
There it goes. Let's send that radio report. That's worth 3,000. Nice. Very nice. Doesn't look like we can pull anything from the wreckage. Just a lifeboat. Unless it needs to... Oh no, there we go. Exotic fruits. Don't need any more medkits. I do wonder, actually, I might interact with a lifeboat. Because if you pull on, especially officers, you can essentially trade them in for more reputation. Three exotic fruits. 3 soggy bananas. Sure, why not? Okay, so I want to see what happens. Invite them on board. So we can have up to 6 survivors. So we've got 2 officers, 4 crew. And I don't think I'd be doing this if we weren't on the verge of, like, just heading back home. We really don't need to go much further at this point.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
You can also get off the gun and maybe go for a rest. Right, so there we are. Sector patrol complete. We've sank 2 freighters, which seems pretty good. That must be close on 10,000 tons. For a first patrol, yeah. And we can actually just click the button to, like, if you don't want to plot a course and then wait to go back to port, you can do it automatically. Which is quite nice. Yes, Samuel, it is. It's quite nice. I think he might be starving to death, which obviously, you know, it's a perpetual problem if you're a cat. He is but skin and bones, aren't you, Samuel? Okay. We can get a little band welcoming us back. So there's our decorations and awards. So that was a fairly eventful first patrol. We went and investigated the U-99 and sank a pair of freighters on top of it. So there we go. 2 British freighters sunk. Over 10,000 tons, in fact. It's what, 10.7, 10.8 K tons? Oh, it actually says right there, 10,845. Yeah, that seems not bad. So the crew has all gotten some XP. And we can actually... So I've got some survivors, so we can go to the recruiting officer and we can trade them in
Ihre neuen Besatzungsmitglieder sein. Möchten Sie Ihre Akten einsehen?
for some, again, extra... There we go. So we actually get a bonus for doing that. So we now have a fair bit of budget to spend, but we also need quite a bit of fuel. But yeah, that's we start off with what, 6,000, spent some of it. We're now up to nearly 17,000. So that seems like a really good first patrol. But bear in mind, I wasn't playing this on like super hard difficulty or anything. So yeah, I might do another couple of recordings of this. I don't know if it'll be a full series or anything, but it's interesting to come back to this and see how it's evolved. And especially it'll be interesting to go through the process of a career and upgrading to new boats along the way. Hello, Samuel. Yes, was I not paying attention? So you have to knock some things off the desk. Very good. Very good. So yeah, that is just about it for this one. I don't suppose I sounded super high energy or anything. I'm particularly tired today. And also I can only hear in one ear because apparently one of my ears is full of wax, so I've got to put drops in, which means I can only hear out of the other ear, which is fun. It's very weird and disconcerting. But yeah, hopefully this was still kind of entertaining and interesting. And if you thought so, you can do all these things down underneath the video. And of course, as always, ow, Sam, as always, stay tuned for more.